Hello everyone, it's Amber, and today I'm going to be doing the mid-year book freakout tag. This is a tag that I've done at least one time before, and I don't remember if I've done it another time, but I want to start doing this again. I think I felt unmotivated to do it because I haven't read as many books in a year since being in college. Being in college, I haven't read quite as much as I've read previously. So I've completed 6 books this year, and I set my reading goal to 10 because I think last year I finished like 6 books or 8 books or something like that. I wanted to read more than that. So my real reading goal is like 30 or something like that. I think the most I've ever read is like 43. So that's my real reading goal. So getting right into it, the first question is, what is your favorite book of the year so far? So currently I'm in the middle of reading 2 books. I'm reading Sadie and I'm reading Truly Devious by Maureen Johnson. And this so far, even though I'm only like almost 100 pages in, is my favorite. But excluding that, I would say my favorite book so far was probably either Down Among the Sticks and Bones by Shauna McGuire or Second Chance Summer by Morgan Matson. Next one is the best sequel that you've read in 2019. So my favorite sequel was Down Among the Sticks and Bones, which, if you don't know, is a sequel to Every Hearted Doorway by Shauna McGuire. Such a great series. This series is basically, if you don't know, it's about these kids that come back from these fantasy worlds and they're in the real world again, and they don't want to be in the real world, so they're at this like kind of boarding school situation, I guess. And the second book follows 2 of the characters on their journey to the fantasy world, but the first book is about the boarding school. So the sequels take place before the first book, if that makes any sense. I really enjoyed that book. I enjoyed the writing, I enjoyed the storytelling, and all the characters were so well developed. Even like really minor characters were really well developed, and I just really liked it. So that's definitely my favorite sequel so far. Also, it's the only sequel I've read, but even if it wasn't, it would still be my favorite. New release you haven't read yet but want to. I would say for this one, Sorcery of Thorns by Margaret Rogerson. This one I need to get from the bookstore, but I really want to read this. I've talked about this in my anticipated releases video if you're interested, but basically it's about this girl and she works at this library and they have like these dormant magical creatures, and something happens and they get like reawakened, so she gets accused of it. And then it goes from there, and it just sounds really good, like magical library. That sounds good to me, so I want to read that. And it just came out, so I'm not super behind. I think it came out in the beginning of June. So the next one, speaking of new releases, is the most anticipated release for the second half of the year. And for this one, I have to go with Wayward Son by Rainbow Rowell. This is the second book to Carry On. I love Carry On so much with all my heart. It's so good, and this one is the second one, and honestly I don't remember what year Carry On came out in, but this is a couple years later, so I've been waiting for this for a little while and I'm excited to read it. Biggest disappointment. This was hard because I actually did enjoy a lot of the books that I read this year. I don't know, I would say Sky in the Deep by Adrienne Young. Maybe. I enjoyed it, but honestly I don't remember what happened in it, which is kind of disappointing, so maybe I'd say that one. This one's about like Vikings and stuff, and it was really good, and I listened to the audiobook, but I really can't tell you what happened in that book. Like, I really have no idea. The next one is Biggest Surprise. I don't want to go with one that I'm currently reading, but honestly I want to say Truly Devious because I was expecting this to be good, but the atmosphere of this book is so good. Like, it just feels like a magical atmosphere. Like, I love the whole boarding school feeling, and it feels really fun, and you can feel the mystery building. The pacing is so good so far, and I'm so excited. I know I'm literally only 78 pages in, so I can't say this, but so far This has been like my biggest surprise because I've heard that everyone really loves this and that it's super hyped. But sometimes when books are really hyped, like I end up not liking them and they disappoint me. But this one so far has not. So maybe this one. Favorite new author debut or new to you? I would say definitely Maureen Johnson. I now love because this book is so good. So I'm just gonna go with that, honestly, even though I haven't finished the book. Newest fictional crush. I honestly don't have one that I've had so far. I don't know why. Like none of the books that I've read have had a love interest that I've really loved, I guess. Like Second Chance Summer is like a romance contemporary book, and I could say, I guess, Henry from that, but I didn't find myself, like, I didn't really like him that much. I don't know. Like, he's just kind of there. Like, he wasn't really developed enough for me to be like, I love you. Then is newest favorite character, and I'm going to not talk about Truly Devious yet because I don't know, because I haven't finished it. Especially for favorite character, because I feel like I haven't really met the characters yet. So I would say Jack from Down Among the Sticks and Bones. I don't remember in the other book if I liked Jack in Every Heart a Doorway, but I really liked Jack in Down Among the Sticks and Bones. Book that made you cry. Okay, Second Chance Summer brought up all the emotions. If you don't know what that book is about, if you want no spoilers for the book, even what's written on the back, don't listen to this part of the video. But if you don't mind like a spoiler that's already on the description of the book, then you're fine. But basically, the book is about their like last summer together as a family, because her dad, you find out literally on the first page and in the description, her dad has cancer and he only has a couple months left to live, so they're spending their last summer together. Oh my gosh, it's just so emotional and there's so many ups and downs. It was really good. And good old Morgan Matson, like I love her books so much, and she always has a way of getting the emotion out in the end of the book. So definitely that book. Book that made you happy. So for this I'm gonna say You Are a Badass by Jen Sincero. This was more of a self-help and like motivational book, and it made me feel super motivated and really happy. It is basically about like taking on life, being a happy person, being grateful for things, and just running your own life and being in charge of your own life. And I took so many notes on this book. I loved that book. It was a great self-help book if you want one of those, and it was definitely one that made me really happy because it made me feel like I was in charge and that I'm motivated, and I don't know. I just really enjoyed it. I talked about it a lot in my last weekly reading vlog, so if you are interested in hearing more about that book, I'm going to go really in depth in it in my wrap up, but for now I'm just gonna like touch on it a little bit. Definitely if you want something that's gonna make you feel happy and motivated and confident and like ready to take on life and like do your thing, then definitely read You Are a Badass because it was so good. Next question is most beautiful book you've bought or received this year so far. Okay, so I chose two for this. One of them is technically from December, but I wanted to mention it anyway because I don't think I've shown this in a haul, but I'm not sure. That one is Strange the Dreamer by Laini Taylor. I couldn't not mention this. Look how beautiful it is. I got it close enough to the beginning of this year that it counts kinda, but it's just gorgeous. Next one that I have is Choose Wonder Over Worry by Amber Ray. This one is really pretty. It's blue and yellow on the inside, and it's just very colorful and gorgeous. And on the inside I think it's really cool too because it has a lot of little things in it. I found this one on a podcast that I listened to, and I listened to the author speak about the book and it sounded really good, so I decided to pick it up. I haven't read it yet, but I'm gonna read it soon. What books do you need to read by the end of the year? So for this question, I went back to my top 10 books that I need to read in 2019 video, and I pulled out all the books that I hadn't read yet, and unfortunately, out of the 10 books that I said I was going to read, I've only read one. So there's 9 books that I have not read yet. So the first one is Lady Midnight by Cassandra Clare, and this one has been on my TBR for so long, and I've literally mentioned it in every TBR video I've done. And let me know if you want a reading vlog for this, but I do end up reading it, like just a whole reading vlog dedicated to this book. But I haven't read it yet, and I'm upset with myself. So this is definitely one that I have to read by the end of the year. Why did I pick like my longest books for that video? Please let me know. The next one I have is Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo, The Cruel Prince by Holly Black. This one I actually am pretty close to finishing. Half-Blood by Jennifer L. Armentrout. I don't feel like getting it, it's over there, but I have to read that one. It's very small, so that one will be an easy read. A Darker Shade of Magic by Victoria Schwab, Nevernight by J. Kristoff, Heartless by Marissa Meyer, which I own, but it was buried, so I don't feel like getting it. Three Dark Crowns by Kendari Blake. But that is it for my mid-year book freakout tag for 2019. I really liked filming this. It was really fun. I missed doing this tag, and you should never feel like you can't do it just because you've only read like a couple books of the year. I love setting goals and I love seeing if I can complete them, so I'm excited. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure to give it a thumbs up because it really does support my channel, and also subscribe down below if you want to see more of my videos, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!
Words that I say, downtown the lights out, but we choose to stay. I don't know where this may go. These strangers know all the words.